Okay. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. So, what are we doing today? Yesterday, we found out how are we going to highlight everything by using the three preferences. Okay, I explained everything to you about each and every word. What are you gonna search for and all that. Now, keep in mind one thing that you have to read the whole document. If it's 5 documents, you have to read 5 documents. Okay? Let's suppose we have right here this contract for roof replacement. Let's ignore the due date. It is still far, but let's just not consider those things right now because we're talking about the documents. Always read I'm just going to tell you what is very important to read. Always read the description because it gives you a lot of details on what you can do and what you cannot. For example, if I see this, the magnitude here, it already says that I cannot do this contract. Okay. Then if I see the site visit, that is already passed. So this contract is already a no. But we're going to talk about the documents, not the other things. We have all of these documents, and all of these have to be read top to bottom because they are very, very, very important. Mark it that statement of work document is the document that you are going to read and share as it is with the vendor. In the statement of work, we do not remove anything or we do not skip anything to share with the vendor. The only things that you are going to remove are going to be the mentions of SAM.gov, okay? Are going to be the notice ID or the emails or the payment terms, okay? Do I have like a, okay, I'll just use annotate. Okay. Okay, so in the statement of work, what are you gonna do? Hide. God. Only couple things. One, SAM.gov. Anything regarding SAM would be removed. Second, we have emails. Okay. Third, we have notice ID. Okay. In the statement of work, we share it as it is. Only highlight it and share it. Oh God, this is so bad. Okay. I hope you got the point that, yeah. So we share it as it is. God, that is so hard. Okay. Then this is your solicitation document. You can see the sole. You can see the notice ID in front of it. And then there's SF 442. If you remember, I told you that SF stands for Standard Form 1442. So that is basically the first page of the solicitation document. This one. Oops, I am not able to open that. Okay. So first page with the tables and everything where you sign and all that, that's SF1449. Then this is amendment written. So amendment, very important to look at, very important to look at. How do I, okay, I'll just remove it. So now we have another amendment that says SF30. And okay, SF30, and then we have Q&A, listing roof building. So Q&A is very important. This is for the vendor. Site visit photos for the vendor. Site map for the vendor. Okay. In the amendment, if there is anything important that you are going to share with the vendor, then you take that out and put it into another document. Because otherwise, as I said, we do not share the solicitation documents with the vendors. Okay. Press it up. What else do we have? We have wage determination. You don't need to look at this document. It is not important. So basically, what does this include? It includes the hourly rates for all of the occupations in America. And it is not important to look at. Okay. So now what was important? This, this. Question and answer, site photo, site map, and not the wage determination. So what do I need to highlight? I need to highlight the statement of work. SF1442 is only going to be the first page, so that's fine. I don't think it would need any highlight. Then amendments, I need to take a look at them to see what changes did they make. Then question and answer has to be highlighted. Site photos, site map have to be highlighted, okay? Let's get back to our PDF. So what are you gonna do? This is the first page that is called the SF1449. So what are we doing? We have to read top to bottom on these documents to understand what is in there. I can assure you more than half of this document is general and is going to be repeated in each and every contract. So for the first 4 or 5 contracts, 5, 6 contracts, I would recommend you to read the whole thing top to bottom so that you understand it. Okay? Once you understand it, once you know what is continuing, repeatedly in each and every contract, then you can skip that and go on. Okay, so let's suppose I did my preference searches. I'm done with that. I've highlighted it. Now I just want to go through the whole document. So when you do the preference search and you highlight, right, when you're doing that, most of the important details are already highlighted. And then all you have to do is go through the other document, the unhighlighted part. Okay. So let's scroll down and we'll discuss what is important. So we've already gone through all of these. We already highlighted. All of this is to be highlighted. Evaluation factors already highlighted. Now here. So this part here is basically, okay. Yeah, so these are where the price is going to be. Okay. Where is it? Let me see the highlighter. So this is item 1 and the unit price. So you have to share all of this with the vendor so that they can fill it in order to give you a price. So I'll just mention what's for a vendor and what's not for the vendor. So for this part, I would copy this, all of it, and put it in another document for the vendor. Okay. So this is important for vendor, not the administrative, but technical part. So basically I would put in all of this in another document, copy paste, snip, whatever, for the vendor. I'll just write V. So green is going to be for the vendor. And if I scroll up, the administrative part, this here, this is for KSNL. Okay. So let's do it this way. Now we're gonna scroll down, see what's more important. So I would need to, because it is written twice, like once it was given above, now it is given here. So I would need to take out which one is written more elaborately. So I would just take out that. I'm not gonna use it twice. Then again, these part, of course, these are for the, where's green? These are for the vendors. What's wrong with you? You don't need to highlight this because of course it's just tables. So we see there are 4 options in one base here. So remember that this part here, right here, this is not important. And neither is this. You can just skip it. Now here we have a list of clauses. It is better to just take a look at them first, to know what clauses are going to be added, because I already know most of these are very common clauses and they are not, very important. So I will tell you a couple names of the clauses that you're going to write down. Those are the ones that you do not need to read word by word because they are going to be in each and every contract and they're going to be exactly the same. Okay. First one is this: instruction to offers commercial products and commercial services. We're not talking about the other instruction to offers, the one, right, at the start where there were actual instructions given. Not this part. This is important instruction to offers. I am talking about the other one. I'm talking about the one that says instruction to offers commercial products and commercial services. So market, you don't need to read it. Okay, it is going to be like a couple pages, so that would save you some time. Yeah. So not important. Others, I would ask you to read them once so that you can understand them. You would know for the next time that are these general or are these specific. Contract terms and condition, read it. Okay, we were talking about an electronic funds transfer yesterday, right? About how the government's gonna pay you. Okay, it is still going on, so read each and every line, each and every word, so that you understand it for the future. The next time you read it, you would already know what this clause includes, and you would not need to read it completely. Read first. Oh, let me do this. 1 sec. Read verse 5, 6 contract. Full dog. Understand the clauses. Which are general, which specific. Okay. Let me make that smaller. Okay. No, we don't want that. User. Okay, so yeah, we're done with that. Now we're gonna do keep scrolling down and continue. So all of these are like clauses name, and you see here that it is not marked. That means this clause does not apply to this contract. So this has an X mark in front of it. That means it does apply like this. So read all of these, see which ones apply, which ones do not apply. So you see here, limitations on subcontracting applies to this contract. What are we gonna do? Make sure that your vendor is a small business. Small business. Then I would keep going through it, read all of it. These are not applied, this one's applied. So just make sure that the ones that do apply, you read them. So not all the time these checkboxes are given. Many times it is just the clause written. So in that case, just consider that they apply. Okay? Scrolling down and of course keep reading everything. I will tell you which ones to skip and which ones to go on, okay? So I don't think any of it needs to be highlighted. So it's fine, you have to just read them. Wide area workflow payment instructions. We already saw that this document is non-editable. So that is why many of the searches were not showing up. For example, this wide area workflow payment, we were not able to find it when we search for payment. This is basically the mode of payment that they use. Software, whatever you want to call it, you need to highlight the heading so that you know that this is the one they're going to be using, okay? Then again, all of this is general, but you need to understand it. Now, you see that we have the performance work statement part right here, and all of this is important, and you would be reading each and every line of it. There is nothing to skip here, and you will be highlighting everything. And because I said we do not share the solicitation document with the vendor, so what do? We take out. Don't share sold doc with vendor ever. Take out the important details. Okay. So what are we gonna do? We are not going to share the solicitation document with the vendor ever. Take out the important details and SOW. So we will discuss the these points where we have to take it out, edit it, everything afterwards. Okay, right now we're just discussing how are we gonna go through this document to see what is important, what's not. So all of this is important and you will be highlighting it. So I'm gonna highlight. So I would recommend you, because statement of work, all of it is important. I would recommend you to do not highlight each and every line. make sure what you're reading so that only important stuff is highlighted. For example, here the work they're asking for is written, so I'll just highlight that till here. And then the contractor shall monitor and control. So only these parts would be highlighted. Then the background does not need to be highlighted because that's just the background of the building and everything. Objective is going to be same, that requirement, inspection of all areas, pest infection, that. So of course the whole has to be highlighted. Then the scope of work, okay? The same thing is going to be written here. So I would highlight till here, then highlight the details like these. For example, the square footage given with the building, 7 acres of public parking. And then here, 6,400 square foot. In addition, provide pest for 1,500 square feet. So like these, you have to highlight not each and every word, or not each and every line, just couple important words from in there. So we already saw that 1 base year and 4 option years and involved in this. Quality control. You just need to highlight the heading for this quality control plan. Quality control plan, I'll just highlight it and I can highlight when do they need it. Within 10 days. Within 10 days. Pest work control plan. That final within 30 days. Just highlight that. Quality assurance. Then these federal holidays, they do not need to be highlighted. Hours of preparation, I'll just highlight the heading, Monday through Friday, and then the time. Okay, and then workforce shall be maintaining defined within till there. Place of performance, I will highlight this. So as minimum as I can. I'm not gonna highlight each and every line. In the security requirements, we have to highlight the headings or the things that they're asking for. For example, security e-verify system. You have to highlight any private vehicles, passes, current list of vehicles, all this, list of model and everything. Then, so everything that is important in this, not the whole lines, just highlight that. Then security, in the security training requirements, always just highlight the heading, like this anti-terrorism training, just highlight that. Again, anti-terrorism training, highlight just the heading, then the IWASH training, just the heading. But these special qualifications, these are very important. Okay. In the special requirements, we have to highlight the things, whatever they're asking for. Shall meet this. I'm gonna scroll down. They're asking that the applicator shall have. So this is very important. You see, a certification is required. So this would go into your checklist as well. Okay. This will go into your checklist as well because they're asking for a license. And when do they need it? 10 days of award. And then they're also asking that we should have a certification here. Then just highlight the heading for this. So these are just, point of contacts they're going to be applying. So just highlight the heading. Here they're asking for the badges, so highlight what they need. Shall wear their badges. Street clothing. So anything about how they want to wear the badges should be highlighted. Conduct should be highlighted, read it and highlight the important part. It's okay. Not very important, but just highlight anything that you find important in it. Because the work has to be done in the cemetery. So that is why they're saying what to do if there are ceremonies there. Yeah, highlight the heading, and then if there's anything important you find in there, just highlight that. Environmental protection. So these are the clauses that would apply to protect the environment. Then water recycling, shall recycle water, practicable recycling bins, bottles. So yeah, you need to highlight that. Air quality identification. Remember, you need to highlight the headings always and other things if they are very important in there, okay? Definitions and acronyms do not need to be highlighted because they're just there, okay? So if you are able, because this is the document that we can snip out of, so I would not take out these terms. But if it was a separate, like a statement of work that was given in the contract here, like this, I would not take it out, okay? Scroll down. Now we have government furnishing. So what is the government furnishing? So of course this is important for the vendor, and what so was the statement of work. The whole statement of work was important for the vendor. I hope you got that. It is for the vendor. So yeah, this is also for the vendor. So what is the government providing? They're providing water. So highlight that. Then it should be contractor furnished stuff. Yeah, there you go. So of course, this is important because vendor is the contractor. They need to see what they are gonna provide. So supplies, you will highlight everything in it that says this should be supplied. Composition satisfactory. Disposal should be highlighted. Then the specific tasks, these are very important. Okay. And you have to read each and every word, each and every line, and then highlight it. Okay. Because all of this is actual work, and you need to understand all of it so that you can help vendor understand it. Because if you're the one that is initially working on the contract, right, you are the one that are understanding it. If you don't understand it, how will you explain it to the vendor? Then reporting, you just need to highlight the headings and then when do they need the reporting. For example, this is weekly, others might be others, so this heading and anything else that is important in there. Liability, government property, private owned property, you have to highlight the whole thing. And then the safety, read and highlight anything that is important. Now these are applicable publications. Yeah, we do share that with the vendor. So If you remember, I said that we remove anything related to SAM.gov from here and the notice ID, but these are not related to SAM.gov. These are trainings and other things that the vendor needs to do, okay? So we do not need to remove any of it. Yeah, we do not need to remove any of it. And this is important for the vendor. List of, so yeah, all of these are very, very, very important. So of course, I do need to share these with the vendors. Now, you see here, notice ID. I would need to remove it before I share that with the vendor. Okay, this was one single document that included everything. If we are looking here, this contract has a statement of work separately. They have the first 2 pages of signature separately. They have the other pages separately. They have the pictures and maps separately, and they have the wage determination separately. Whereas this document of ours have everything within it. We've already seen the statement of work. We've already seen the pictures, maps. We've already seen the SF1449, all the clauses, the whole sole doc. Now, if I go here, I see the wage determination. I told you it is not important. Okay? So that means you don't have to share that with the vendor. Okay? So this is like the start of the wage determination always. And it is also written here. You see the font change. This is normal. This is other robotic kind of font. So skip it, all of it. Okay, it is going to be couple pages, so we do not need to share that with the vendor. And it is not important because many times the vendor already know that what do they need to, pay their crew members. Otherwise, they would be, under laws, whatever problems, that thing. Okay, so we are done with this. We know what is important for the vendor, what's not important, all that. Okay. So let's just go ahead and kind of check the documents. Yeah, we're gonna leave that. Oops. So let's just take a look at the documents for this one. So I could just show you one more once. Yeah, we want it to be downloaded. Amendment, question and answers. Okay, got it. So first of all, statement of work. This is the statement of work. And all of it is going to be very important. As I said, you read the statement of work top to bottom, everything in it. Okay. So I'll just tell you what things you would need to remove if this is the statement of work that I'm working on. So of course you will be highlighting all of this. This you will okay. This is the location. We have to do the demolition, and then you will read all of it and highlight the important things in it. Remove existing, finally plug downlinks. So I was trying to not proceed with new roof until all defects are repaired. See, that way. So I don't want to highlight the whole paragraphs. I am trying to highlight to make it look presentable and not like everything is just highlighted. So you know what I'm trying to do. So second is replacements, of course, that is important. And you have to highlight all of it. And this warranty is very important. Complete the project within 90 days from demolition start date, okay? So that is your performance, period of performance. You need to make sure that the vendor abides by that. And all of this has to be read and highlighted accordingly. Contractor qualification, prime or sub, proper qualification necessary, proof of competence upon request, contractor's license. I don't know, I don't know that. Contractor license and all that. So you see, I'm not highlighting the whole thing. So you would need to just read and highlight what is important. And again, this has to be highlighted, of course. Government will provide this. Again, highlight the heading. And everything else. Monday through Friday. Read everything and highlight it. Let's move to where I want to see if there's anything that we would like to remove. So nothing up till now. Base access is very important. Read it and highlight it. This is not a sam.gov link, so we're fine with that. Again, these trainings just highlight the heading and then highlight when do they need it. Okay? And this is, of course, very important. All of it. Definitions, I told you, if it is within the document, you cannot remove it, of course. If the statement of work is in the solicitation document and you're gonna take out the statement of work and you have the definitions on the last pages, you can just skip those. But this one we cannot skip, and you don't need to highlight it as well. Then, of course, this is important, so I'll just highlight the heading. Heading. This is very important. You see that it is a deliverables. When do they need it? And what do they need? And this is the end. Now, this was the SF page. So I'll just show you what it is. They just said that it is the SF. What is the document name? Yeah, SF 1442. So this is the solicitation document. This first page is called SF 1442. If I scroll down, I have all the clauses and everything else. These are the tables that you get filled for the pricing. So you would need to take this out, like snip it and paste it somewhere so that the vendor can have it for filling. Instruction to offer, so of course you would need to highlight anything that is important. You see here, bid guarantee. So you know that it has to be provided. What are you gonna do? you will mention that in your checklist. Then again, read all of it. Instruction to bidders, again, read it, highlight it. Everything, okay? You have to read all of this. I'm saying it again and again. For the first couple contracts, you have to read them so that you understand which you can skip and which you have to have read. Okay? So there is another clause that I want you to skip. Write it down. There is another clause that is called representation and certification, like this, but that clause is bigger. This is not exactly that representation and certification clause, but it's bigger. So I told you one before, instruction to offers, commercial and blah, 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 that one. Another one is representation and certification, reps and certs. Okay, that is the clause name. That clause is like 5 pages long. So that's why I'm telling you skip it. Then we have Buy American Act. You can also skip that clause because it is also 4 pages long. So bonds are required. We saw the bid guarantee. Now we're looking at performance and payment bonds. This is the reason why we do not share this with the vendor, because of so many links, so many clauses, and so many details. Yeah. So this Buy American Construction Materials or Buy American Act, you can skip it because it is a very long clause, 4 pages. Okay? You can skip that because it is general. It is going to be in each and every contract. Okay? Okay, so we're done with this. One, now this was the amendment, so we need to check that. What was in the amendment? Purpose of the amendment is to correct the DBID's pre-enrollment link. So that was just the link they changed. This is what they changed. So it is important to know. It is important to highlight. Now we have question and answers. So I would share this exact document with the vendor without changing anything, except I need to remove the notice ID from here. Okay, you would see that how do we do that? But you have to remove the notice ID and you have to change anything like related to sam.gov if it is asked here. Can we use this? Can we do that? Drawings, sheet maps, PVC, hard copy of bid bond. So yeah, you have to highlight all of these. And there is nothing else that would be removed from here. Okay? Yeah, so that should be all. Let's just take a look at the list of the attachments on this one so you would know what to look at again. Always look at the amendments first to see what changes did they make. This is your solicitation document. Because statement of work is not added separately, it might be within this. And then we have attachments. You would need to see what's in it. 001 means first amendment, 0002 means second amendment, third and fourth. So it was amended multiple times, okay? So yeah, that is all about the highlighting. Now we need to know, how do we edit the documents to take out the things from it, all that. Okay,